Hello and welcome back to Forgotten Dailies. Today is the day that the 88 Horizon starts to begin to be tore down. I've already taken a few parts off the car just because of customer requests. Nothing really. The biggest thing was the steering wheel and then the lower dash bezel that I had to reship out because I made the mistake and sent the wrong one. That story is in the video when we obtained this car. Typically when I start on one of these cars, I like to start at the back end of the car and move my way forward. And the reason that I do that is because I like to get the taillights out and then anything in the back cargo area that I need to remove out. So this way any miscellaneous brackets, bolts, whatever can go in the back. And then as I keep moving forward. Another part of the reason I do that is because if I'm pulling interior parts, I really don't want my hands to be filthy dirty. So I try to do all that stuff first. Then I move on to the engine. And then finally once it's onto the trailer, that's when I do like rear hubs, axles, if I haven't pulled the engine already, things like that. If I've pulled the engine already, then, you know, I still have to keep it a roller until it's on the trailer. And once it's on the trailer, I'm able to jack it up, remove everything I need to remove, and then set it on blocks. And then it goes across scale. So let's do a walk around. So in this particular car, being a Plymouth that has different taillights than an Omni, these are a different style. I will keep them because, again, they don't reproduce this stuff. But we've had a set of taillights. I think we have a total of 3 in our store for quite a while, and they haven't sold. So, you know, I just don't want to throw them away. So I'll pull them out. The taillights are probably the hardest part to pull in the back of these Omni L-body cars because they're not bolted in. They got little metal clips. I got one in here that is off the GLH. Hang on. So, if you look at this U-shaped bracket there, here, there's 4 metal clips that they're not on this particular taillight, but those snap into these brackets and then they lock into place in the back. But then they also got this buttle tape, glue, whatever you want to call it, adhesive. So you really have to, you know, get inside here and work it, you know, like a putty knife or a cutting tool, whatever your preference is, to get the taillights out of a 4-door L body. 2-doors are not the same. They're bolted in, but 4-doors, they use that tape and glue them in. So I'm going to keep the taillights. I'm going to keep the dealer decal, and then, of course, the Plymouth emblem. Other than that, there's really not a lot back here, you know, worthy of keeping. The inside, it's locked. I have to get it open. The inside, these seats, this is actually the driver's seat, which is very clean. It's got one little hole there and then a little wear right here. But considering, you know, there's a few more little marks. Considering the car's a 1988, it's actually really clean. So these seats, both passenger, driver, and the rear, are going in the GLH. You might ask, why are they going in the GLH when we had Shelby Charger seats in it? Well, those are gone. I sold them. I didn't like the way they sit, so I had somebody that was wanting them. They came down a few days ago, picked them up, and took them back home with them because I'd already had intentions on putting these seats in this car anyways. So to me, it's a win-win. We sold some seats, made some money, you know, to put back into the business, and I get a nice set of seats for the GLH. It's kind of a shame on this little car because, believe it or not, this little 2.2 just fires right up and you can't even barely hear it running. I know I'm going to end up pulling the engine and I'm going to end up storing the engine just like I have all the others that are around here because I don't have the heart to just let a good running engine go across scale. Say hi, Batman. Batman's out here hanging out with me for now. It's one of our outside cats. So anyways, tonight I've sold the fuel sending unit plug, so I got to get it cut off. And then I have somebody that really needs the engine harness. So, as I said earlier, normally I start on the interior. Tonight I'm going to start on the engine harness and that fuel sending unit plug and get that off so I can get that stuff, you know, taken care of and our customers taken care of. The rest of the car is just stuff for inventory. Nobody's requested anything else as of today. So, we was under this car just casually looking a week or two ago, and surprisingly, the floors from first glance, now we'll know more when we get the carpet out, The floors at first glance from underneath look pretty solid. The plan is to cut from however high up my buddy that's going to help me do this, however high up on the firewall he wants, and then however far to the back we want. Now I know that the GLH is rotted on the passenger side. This is the seat bracket that runs across. It's welded in here, welded in there, and then another piece on the other side. The one on the passenger side of the GLH is rotted where the seat bolt hole is. So we're probably going to end up coming back into here somewhere, maybe right in front of the parking brake cable or something, and basically putting from here forward in the GLH. Now we may section it down the middle. Again, I am not a body guy, but my buddy is, so he's the one that's going to help me do that. Something else I noticed on the GLH, well, I've known it, I just forgot about it, whatever. Driver's rear quarter panel, where the corner mount, this corner mounts go to. Right here, this is where that corner mount, it mounts to the bumper, and then it locks into this bolt here. The GLH has got a big hole right in this general area. It's probably more work than I want to do to the car, but this one is solid. So this quarter panel, from wherever he wants me to cut it, is getting cut. Even if we can just come in, there's a body line right here. Even if we can just come in here and patch it from here down, whatever. It's to me, it's the car's here. Now's the time to cut as much as I want, because I can't, once it's gone, it's gone. I can't get it back. So that will probably be cut out for the GLH. And then the passenger door in the GLH is rotten, but we already have a 90 door that's in blue. It's a different shade of blue. It's supposed to be Santa Fe, but due to time, and the GLH has been repainted at one time, but it's still better than a gaping rust hole in the one that's on it now. This quarter panel, I know the GLH, again, similar situation. It's got a small hole. I'll talk to him about that one, but we may end up cutting the quarter panel off the passenger side as well. With that said, I'm going to quit babbling. I'm going to get busy, and I'm going to get this thing closer to being done. We're still prepping for Carlisle. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. I've got a ton of pre-sold items, which is great. So if you're seeing this and you're going to be at Carlisle and you need parts, message me or get a hold of me. You can email me. I'll put my email address in here. Or you can get a hold of us through Facebook. We also have a Facebook page, Forgotten Dailies. I don't use it as often as I should. And then, of course, eBay. I'll have a link to that as well. So with that said, let's get this thing started. All right, it's been an hour, give or take. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track of the time. I don't even know if it's been an hour. Then it's been pouring down rain all day. My driveway's a pond again. I got the driver's seat put in the GLH. Just one bolt, enough to hold it, and got it moved back up the stone so it doesn't sink in our swamp. Engine harness completely out. Computer's out. Battery tray's out. All that had to come out to get the engine harness out, so it wasn't like it's that big of a deal. Washer bottle's out again. I had to unhook the wire to the washer pump. So, with that said, the engine harness is sitting on the ground. Everything else is piled up here for now. Normally what I'll do is I'll have empty totes out here, and as I pull parts, I put them in. Unfortunately, right this moment, I don't have any out here except for the ones I bought to use for Carlisle. So, anyways, driver's seat, like I said, is out. Interesting find. I've parted out so many of these cars, I've lost count of how many I've parted out. And every now and then will find something that's interesting. Most of the times it's just random stuff that the previous owner or owners left in the car. And one time I found a water leak test sheet in a T-top Daytona. Still have that somewhere. I think it's in the basement. But it had like all the body panels for the T-tops where they went and stuff. And they would check that off as they water tested. It's kind of neat little piece. But this one, I've never found one of these before. It's an original build sheet for this Horizon. I haven't touched it. I saw it when I pulled the seat out to get the fuel sending unit harness out. All that's out and ready to go too. That gets shipped tonight. So I'm going to try to decide if I want to leave it in there or if I want to pull it out and maybe frame it. I think the car, you know, who cares? It's just a Horizon, but it's still cool that it survived. We're going to pull it out. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. Why not? Let me try to pull it out here one-handed without tearing it. And it came out. So, let's try to find a halfway decent place here. It's dark and dreary out. I got the garage lit up, but when the garage door's open, this side of the garage doesn't get as much light, obviously, because the door covers it. It's even still got, I know this video part here is horrible, and I'm sorry. Still got the original, looks like piece of tape that held it together on here. So, hang on. Alright, so I didn't keep slinging you guys around and making you dizzy watching the video. This is pretty neat. Like I said, I've never seen one of these before, especially in this kind of condition. It's actually really nice and fully legible. But it's got like all the different codes that the car would have had as it was optioned. I don't know what those codes are, but that is something that I could study and maybe learn about. There's the tire size, 165/80. 13, that's got to be the spare. I've never heard of a tire size that size. It's got to be a spare tire. So yeah, it's kind of cool. You know, what belts it has, what AC bracket it has, what heater hoses, AC lines, because this is an AC car, fan relay, the sitting unit, dome light wiring, instant panel wiring, door wiring, on and on and on. That's really, really cool. I think this is going to get framed. And if I could figure out a way to make copies of these, that would be so awesome. So anyway, I want to give you a little update on this. I don't know how much more I'm going to be out here tonight. I've still got parts to ship. So we're going to try to get the deal done on this harness so it can leave tomorrow as well. But I'll update you on the next time. Alright, so I've been out here working on the little Horizon for a couple of hours now. Finally got back to this. Of course, we went last weekend to Carlisle. So the last couple of weeks have been prepping for that and getting ready to go, and then of course going and being there, and then you know getting home and then putting things back away. So tonight's the first chance I've had really to work on the Horizon. The plan was to work on the Banana here, but it's still muggy. Tomorrow's supposed to be a little cooler, so hopefully I can get on that car, pulling the interior mostly, and then the taillights, etc., and the rear bumper cover maybe. But anyways, try to get that car done and get it out of here before I get any further in this one, because this one's going to be a little longer. So today I pulled the dash, pulled the carpet, and got all of that out of the way because we are going to be salvaging the floors from this. This is probably the cleanest L-body floor pan that I have seen in many years. It's got a little spot right here, but it doesn't go up much further than this. So compared to what's in the Omni now, this is a million times better. And then on the other side, you can see it's got one tiny little hole. And again, the whole inner wheel well is completely good. Where the Omni's rotted away, probably about halfway up the GLH Omni. So that's a bonus. I'm glad that it at least has good floors. Steering column's junk, but yeah, this is all solid all the way to the back. You can see it's still stuff in the way. Sorry. It may have a little spot right there, but here's the advantage to what was with the Omni. I only need to this seat bracket. Probably come just behind and use the seat bracket itself, because on the Omni, the seat bracket on the passenger side is completely rotted up to where the seat bolt mounts to it. So we're going to include the whole seat bracket. I've already sent pictures to my buddy that's going to help me do this. So he's already seen them and he knows what we're getting into, and he's like, yeah, we got a lot to work with. So this is good. I'm excited for this. Gonna remove the probably remove the gas pedal and go ahead and knock the steering column out of the way. It's just one pin, and then we have a if I can speak, completely clean area to work with. So removing the gas pedals, couple 3 bolts, and it's out. And then, like I said, one pin for the steering column, and it's out. Steering column's junk anyways. There was no key unless you consider a flat blade screwdriver a proper key. So with that said, now, we also noticed, we looked over the GLH the other day, and this rear door is rusted on the bottom. We know the passenger front door is rusted. I got a big hole in the side, and I've already got another door for it. And I think the passenger rear door is rusted. I don't remember. So we're going to scavenge a couple doors off of this car. And then, like I said earlier in the video, the quarter panels are going to be cut off as well. So this is one of those cars that there's not going to be a whole lot left when it leaves. But that's alright. That's what it's for. I'm going to go ahead and post this video. I didn't really plan on posting this video until after I was completely done with the car. That's normally how I do it. But I want your opinion. This little engine is a 2.2 non-turbo. It is fuel injected. And it runs beautiful. Like you can't even barely hear it running. What do I do with it? Do I pull it and store it and hope to find a buyer? Or do I just strip it down, strip all the brackets, the throttle body, you know, the valve cover, the timing belt covers, anything that I can, you know, sell off the engine and send it on its way? Let me know what you think. What would you do? Currently, I have this 2.5 turbo. It's spoken for, but it's still here. I have this 87 2.2 T2 engine out of the GLHS. I've got an 89 common block 2.2 T2 engine back here out of a Maserati. 2 T1 blocks, bare blocks. Let me walk around here. My garage is a disaster right now. I have this 90 2.2 non-turbo engine, and then another block on this stand. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 engines. Now, granted, not all of them are complete, so 3 of them are not complete, but 7 engines in this garage. Where do I put an 8th? Not only do I have that, but I have the 525 on the back of the 87 engine. I've got this 465 that we thought was an early 525, but found out it's a 465. It's probably going to go across the scale. And then I got this 523. That's going to go in the wife's car, if needed, or used for parts or whatever. What do I do? If somebody needs a good 2.2 engine, this is the one. Clean it up, replace timing belt, etc., and you'd have a good engine, wouldn't have to do anything to it. Or strip it down, call it a day, and keep on moving. So, with that said, I got the wiper arms, the wiper transmission off. The dash harness is out. I don't know if it'll sell. And then some little odds and ends pieces here and there. Headlight buckets, headlight rings. You know, some of this stuff isn't high dollar items. It might be $20, $25, whatever. But that's more than I'm going to get going across the scale. And once it's gone, it's gone. That's kind of where I'm at on this engine. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to think about it a little while yet. Probably focus, like I said earlier, in the yellow car. And get it done and gone. Because it just needs to go. So, like, follow, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Share. If you know anybody else that's into these little cars, let's build this channel. Hopefully, I'm going to try to do better and getting better videos. But I'm a busy person, work full time, and do this, you know, in the evenings as I have time. So follow our eBay page. Check us out there. We've got currently, as of today, over 1,660 listings. And the biggest majority are parts for these cars. So look up Forgotten Dailies LLC. I'll put a link in the description. If you have any questions, if you need any parts, having parts requests, you can email me at forgottendailiesllc@gmail.com. I'll put that in the description as well. So, alright, well, I hope you have a great day. I got some thinking to do on this. Thinking about calling it a night and going in the house. So we'll catch you later.